Family, guess who it is again? You don't know, Dr. Cooking is back again. Don't forget the milk. Well, family, today we got a new one for you, man. You get me? You don't know, we got to educate. You understand what I'm saying? What do you guys think about Jamaica leaving the British control? What do you think about that, family? I want you to let me know, because in my views, I think Jamaica is going to get even worse than what it is right now.
Taking the committee to task over what will change should the country vote to abolish the king as head of state.
I don't have the answer. I have some ideas.
What are we going to put in place to make sure that politicians actually go to jail when they steal? You know, we are not poor. We're just not using our resources properly, and people have resigned themselves.
Yo.